Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing a review on the RDX Apex training gloves. So stay tuned. All right guys, so today I'm doing a close-up weigh-in and review on the RDX Apex training gloves. I got mine in red in 12 ounces, Velcro closure. And this is one of RDX's more premium, higher-end boxing gloves that uses multi-layer foam padding that integrates EVA and also uses a synthetic outside leather skin with a tri-cut microfiber liner. So looking at this, I got this in 12 ounces. So this is more for bag work, hitting the mitts and other training, maybe some technical sparring, but not full on sparring. I'd say that these are more on the medium to compact size profile. It does show the RDX right there on the back of the glove and the white logo, as well as on the thumb. You have RDX that is printed on the back of the Velcro strap that has black piping that wraps around. It says Apex Series Pro Sparring, so you can use this for sparring if you do have a larger size, like in 16 ounces. RDX incorporated in the finger compartment. The back of the wrist has about an inch of softer density padding on the inside and a little bit more dense on the outside, and about 3/4 of an inch on the inside of the wrist. And that goes all the way up. You have the elastic strap that goes across on the palm, ventilated holes on the palm, as well as a nice large grip bar, and it has that split palm look that's kind of offset, where you have the black and the red that meet kind of offset. Typically you have it go down the middle, but in this case you have it off to the side, and an attached thumb right there as well. Nice parallel running thumb on these gloves, so you can see them next to each other. Pretty nice looking gloves overall. The RDX, put them next to each other, show you the right glove. Gave you guys kind of a close-up of the faux leather they use on here. So a really nicely built glove, and I believe these gloves are actually manufactured in India, if I'm not mistaken. You can see that they put a bunch of tags on the inside here to indicate that this is an authentic RDX product, has the weight. And so you have this tag that shows the tracking, the weight, another serial number. So there's a ton of tags that they put on here, which I'm not a big fan of, because I'm going to end up ripping these off. And it's kind of a nuisance having that all in the glove, especially when you're trying to put the gloves on. Having all these tags, it would have been nicer just to have it in the box with it, but I don't know. I guess they just want to make sure that they put this in here so that you're getting an authentic RDX product. Although I'm not too sure that there's anybody out there that's really making counterfeit versions of RDX gloves. I haven't seen that. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I guess I haven't looked enough. But how to spot a fake, not buying directly from us, it kind of confirms. If you verify track tag, then enjoy a 10% discount at your next purchase. So yeah, you have that track tag right there. So let's go ahead and put these on the scale, see how much these weigh. Again, these are supposed to be 12 ounces. So hopefully they are at that 12 ounce weight. Let me make sure it's zeroed before I put this on. So the right glove is actually at 16 ounces. So it's definitely heavier, way heavier than the advertised weight of 16 or 12 ounces, excuse me. And the left glove is right at 16.2. So these gloves are a lot heavier than their advertised weight, which is not a good thing, being that much off weight. And it makes me wonder how much more heavier the 14 and 16 ounce versions of these gloves are gonna be. So puts a little bit of a red flag there in terms of weight, but let's go ahead and do the review. Hey, what's up guys, Carlo here, and today I'm doing a review on the RDX Apex training gloves. I got mine in red. You can also get this in blue. 12 ounces Velcro closure, and sizing wise, you can get this anywhere between 10 to 16 ounces. Now, the Apex line of equipment from RDX to me is kind of on their higher end. boxing equipment. You know, they have some of the mid-tier stuff, some of the entry-level stuff that's sub $100. And with this line, I believe they're trying to achieve a little bit more of a premium fit and feel, as well as performance for those of you that are looking for more of a higher performing boxing glove from RDX. Now, looking at this glove, I believe this glove is manufactured in either Pakistan or India. The right glove had a ton of tags on the inside, which I wasn't not a big fan of, and how they have all these white tags just kind of hang out, so I'm gonna rip those off. But nothing indicates the actual where it's manufactured. This also has a synthetic leather outside casing, so it is not a genuine leather glove. What RDX calls it is super skin. So one thing that RDX is kind of infamous for is they use a lot of like technical terminology when it comes to the materials they use in their equipment and in their boxing gloves. Like for example, super skin, which is basically synthetic leather, and then they also use Lumex 2 padding, which is again is just like, if you go onto the website, I can't remember it all because it would be next to impossible for me to remember the words and the terminology they use, but they use a lot of like these patented words like Lumex 2 padding, you know, and then they also have that on the inside of the Velcro strap right there. So I'm not a big fan of just like all the marketing plastered all over the glove. I just think it's a little tacky. To me, it's like just have that on their website, or maybe have like a card in the box that is included with that shows you what's integrated into the glove. But I don't necessarily think you need to have it like labeled and onto the Velcro strap and have it all on the wrist. And I mean, you know, maybe one or two things like on one side right here with like the British flag would be good, and that's pretty much it. But I think like to me it's over marketed and kind of over advertised in my opinion. But looking at the glove itself, it has kind of a medium to smaller profile. It says RDX in white on the back of the glove. You also have it on the back of the Velcro strap that has kind of like this unique design that goes around the RDX. It also says RDX in the thumb. So again, I mean, you have 3 places right there, right off the bat, that has RDX kind of written on it. So again, it's kind of like with Venom, where they kind of plaster their logos all over. I'm not a big fan of it. Then you have it again, RDX right there on the fingertip compartment, and then the Apex series Pro, you know, so it's just a lot of that. And then A5 sparring, and then right here you can see it does have a Tricot microfiber liner, which I'm a big fan of. I love that type of liner in gloves. About 1 inch of padding. The back of the wrist is definitely smooth and has much more of a soft touch feel compared to the back exterior side. About 3/4 of an inch of padding on the inside wrist, and it has a pretty nice large grip bar with the ventilated holes on the palm. The padding on this kind of comes up and rolls around up to the palm side right here. And then you also have kind of that split palm design where you have an offset of red that kind of bleeds over to the palm side. So I think that looks pretty cool. Definitely like that look. And then an attached thumb and a multi-layer foam padding that's definitely more on, I'd say, the medium firm side. So it's not rock solid, but it's not super soft and broken in. And that's probably the best feature of this glove is the padding they use in here, which I'll get into here in a second. Now the quality of the glove is pretty good. I mean, looking at the stitching, you can see areas where you have like little small imperfections in the pull of the leather right there. But overall, I do love the quality of this microfiber leather that they use on here. It doesn't feel cheap like some of the like what Everlast uses in some of their entry-level gloves. But then again, at the price that they're selling these for, you would expect the synthetic they use to be a higher grade. But it definitely has a much thicker feel, and I have had these gloves in part of my rotation for a couple of weeks now, and I haven't had any issues with the durability of it. You can see that there's no bubbling in the foam or that synthetic material. The logos are all symmetrical on both gloves on the back. You can see right there the palm stitching looks really good. The grip bar looks good as well. You can see the Velcro strap looks really good. The piping is done pretty well. I mean, there's some stitching kind of overlapping there. That could be done cleaner in my opinion. No rips in the liner. The bottom cuff looks good. The big issue here with the quality is going to be how overweight it is for a 12-ounce glove. When I weighed it on the scale, these gloves weighed in at 16 ounces. So these gloves are 4 ounces overweight. And you can actually feel it when you hold these gloves as far as how overweight they are. So To me, that kind of raises my eyebrows in terms of how much the 14 and the 16-ounce gloves are going to weigh. I mean, if it's 4 ounces over for a 12-ounce glove, does that mean the 16-ounce gloves are going to be 20 ounces? I don't know, because I don't have a pair of the 16 ounces. But to me, that's a big quality control issue. The fact that gloves like these that are supposed to be kind of your higher end gloves are that much overweight. I mean, now an ounce is about acceptable. I mean, you typically see a glove that's either an ounce over or an ounce lighter than the advertised weight, but not 4 ounces. I mean, that's like something you would see like in a Reyes glove or a Mexican style glove where they traditionally run heavier. So just something to point out with that. Comfort of the glove. Sliding my hand in as the gloves are very comfortable. The wrist support feels really nice. The amount of padding they give you on the front part of your wrist and on the back really, kind of keeps your wrist nice in line and nice and tight. So I don't get a feeling of my wrist being too floppy, which is really nice. Thumb positioning is really good on this. Good amount of padding on the back of the thumb to protect myself. When I make a fist, you can see that it doesn't pull down on the thumb, so it doesn't give you that jamming sensation. And also a really nice deep finger compartment. It's semi-broken in. This glove is going to definitely take some time to break in even more. But it definitely feels comfortable. A piece of neoprene padding over the fingertip compartment. Liner feels really good, doesn't bunch up whatsoever. And my hand is in a perfect position to land on those 2 front knuckles. So overall, the comfort of the glove is really nice. I'm kind of curious to see how much larger like a 14, 16 ounce glove is in terms of the hand compartment goes. But for my hands being medium sized, these 12 ounce gloves fit me really well. If you have a little bit larger hands, I would say go with minimum the 14 ounce versions of these gloves, especially if you're wearing hand wraps. So it'll be definitely a snug fit if you go with the 12. So if you have bigger hands, longer fingers, go with a minimum of 14 or 16 ounce gloves, in my opinion. The only catch with that too is going to be the weight's probably going to be drastically higher than the advertised weight. But again, I mean, if you're using it for training, conditioning, getting in shape, then that might not be a bad thing, might be a good thing. So comfort's definitely really nice with these gloves. Protection and performance. One thing I do want to mention is the gloves are well balanced. So the distribution of padding and weight is really good. So it's not too top heavy where everything's loaded towards the front. And that means that the wrist support is really nicely structured throughout the midsection and towards the bottom of the glove. Now, protection and performance wise, this glove is fantastic when it comes to that. I think it's a really well balanced glove in the fact that the foam is firm enough to where it absorbs shock, but when you land a really good shock, it also compresses down and gives you a nice feedback and pop feel that you get. So regardless if you're using it on the heavy bag, hitting the mitts with it, doing some sparring, I think you can really use this for everything in the gym. So it's kind of like one glove that you can use it for everything in the gym and not worry about, maybe carrying a sparring glove with you and then having a separate bag glove. You can essentially use this for everything, which is really nice. The support on the wrist feels really good. It feels like it's nicely locked in and doesn't allow for my hand to roll back. Yeah, definitely a really well balanced glove in that regard. Cost-wise, these gloves are a bit on the high side, and they're kind of at a weird price. When you go on the RDX website, these are $203. I'm not sure why it's $203. I would think that like $199 would sound more. I mean, I know that kind of goes into the marketing aspect of it, but is like $4 more that much more important rather than just saying $199.95? So to somebody that's going online to purchase these gloves, if they see the $199.95, that to me, from looking at it from kind of a automatic, like a first impression standpoint, $199 sounds better than $203 in my opinion, and it's only a couple dollars less. So, but even then at that price, I still think they're a bit high comparing to what's out there nowadays. I mean, for a glove that's over $200, for it to be overweight by 4 ounces, good performance, great knuckle protection, very comfortable. Another thing I wanted to mention was I wish RDX, and I said the same thing with the Venom premium boxing glove line, like the hammers and the shields. I wish they would make their higher end stuff kind of more its own branding, like distinguish that from the other RDX gloves, where the premium gloves have its own logo that kind of markets it as more of a pro level boxing glove. Because to the naked eye, if you see this glove next to some of the other entry-level RDX gloves, unless you like look and read up on this glove to see how much it costs and what was involved with making this glove, then you couldn't really tell from the naked eye that these are like a higher end version of what RDX offers, the Apex, boxing equipment line. So to me, I think they should kind of maybe rethink the way they market this glove and some of their higher end stuff. To me, that would be much to their benefit. But again, back to the price, I think it's still a little bit on the high side. Maybe in the mid 100s range would be better, but they would still have to get the weight on point with this glove. So if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys leave them down below in the comments box. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find these RDX Apex training gloves. I'll see you guys later. Take care.